Hello, I'm Caitlin and welcome to Fragrance University's final course video on air freshener types. We've taken a look at both solid and spray air fresheners, so now it's time to discuss reed diffusers. Reed diffusers have become increasingly popular alternatives to traditional air fresheners and other fragrance products such as candles and incense. This stems from their convenience and ease of use. They do not require a power source like other methods of constant air freshening, and they can be left unattended safely. Reed diffusers consist of three parts: a thin net glass container, the air freshening liquid, and the reeds placed in this liquid that slowly send out fragrance over time. The reeds act as a wick, just like that of a candle, drawing fragrance up and into the air. Each aspect of the diffuser works together to make a strong smelling product. Without the proper reeds and bottle, even the strongest fragrance would fail to deliver. The reeds used to make these diffusers come in different varieties. In general, a good reed should not clog or diffuse fragrance at an unsteady rate. The fragrance should not diffuse too fast or too slow. Rattan reeds, made from the stems of palm plants, contain many hollow tubes throughout that draw fragrance up and diffuse it. These reeds are less prone to clogging but still diffuse slowly, making them the best for stronger, heavier fragrances. Bamboo reeds have hollows similar to those of rattan reeds, but contain small nodules that limit efficiency of diffusing, so they are not recommended for use in diffusers despite appearing that they might. Synthetic reeds are manufactured from fibers specifically made for use in reed diffusers. They have an even porosity and diffuse fragrances faster than wood-based reeds, making them best for light fragrances that will not become overpowering with fast diffusion. Synthetic reeds can also be dyed in various colors to match the fragrances they correspond with. Reed thickness also varies. In general, the thicker the reed, the more fragrance they will diffuse. However, this also means they will diffuse much faster. If the reed is too thin, it's more likely to clog. Generally, a 3 mm thick reed works well for proper fragrance diffusion. Finally, the more reeds in the diffuser, the faster it will diffuse. The container used for reed diffusers should be glass or HDPE plastic that can stand up to fragrance oil. The most important aspect of the container is the narrow neck. The neck of the container, where the reeds extend, must be narrow to prevent the air freshening liquid from evaporating into the air and not through the reeds. If allowed to evaporate into the air and not through the reeds, the fragrance will diffuse too fast and not make for an effective air freshener. The containers are typically 3 to 8 ounces in size. The capacity of your container will determine how long the diffuser lasts. Typically, each ounce of air freshening liquid in the container will yield a month of fragrance, but this varies widely depending on the reed size, humidity, and temperature of the environment, and the components of the air freshening liquid. Regardless of the container size, the reeds used with them should extend at least 3 inches from the neck. The final component of reed diffusers are the air freshening liquid within them. There are endless formulations used to make this liquid. Although alcohols have an effective evaporation rate, there are limits on use of volatile organic compounds in vaporizing products such as reed diffusers. Many home-based DIY formulations include alcohols in them, but these ingredients are limited to a maximum of 18% in commercially sold products. So what does reed diffusing liquid actually contain? Reed diffuser-based manufacturers include ingredients meant to thin fragrances to facilitate proper evaporation through the reeds, but do not disclose what those ingredients are. If you choose to purchase your reed diffuser base from a manufacturer, avoid any formulations containing dipropylene glycol, as it will clog the reeds due to its high viscosity. If you're interested in formulating your own reed diffuser base, your ingredients should consist primarily of solvents that are thin enough for use in reeds and compatible with fragrance oil. A common blend recommended by perfumists is 20% fragrance oil and 80% solvent mixture. This mixture should contain solvents that help with both the evaporation of the fragrance, but also keep it from evaporating too fast. A 50-50 mix of dipropylene glycol methyl ether and tripropylene glycol methyl ether have proven to be effective at doing so. Cyclopentoxyloxane and cyclomethicone, both silicone compounds found in many skin and perfume products, are also used in some reed diffusing liquids. These long chemical names can sound confusing, so keep a few things in mind when trying to decide which ones to include in your reed diffusers. The more volatile a chemical is, the faster it will evaporate. The less volatile, the slower. A reed diffuser that evaporates too fast will not have a very long life. Too slow and the reed diffuser won't be strong enough to fragrance a room. Emulsifiers like polysorbate 20 are also included in some reed diffusing liquid formulations that eliminate the need for alcohol. The polysorbate 20 will allow the fragrance oil to emulsify in the water component of the liquid. It is usually combined with a ratio of 1:1 with the fragrance oil. This mixture is then added at a ratio of 37.5% fragrance mixture and 62.5% water. Without the inclusion of alcohol or a preservative, however, the high levels of water in the formulation may lead to bacterial growth. For this reason, it's recommended to add a preservative to maintain the freshness of this formulation type. Reed diffusers can also be used with a simple combination of fragrance and carrier oils. These carriers should be thin and lightweight to travel up the reed most effectively, so sweet almond and safflower have become popular for use in reed diffusers. Fast-drying oils like sunflower and grapeseed oil are not ideal for use in reed diffusers because they will evaporate too quickly. Although oil blends do not exhibit the same effectiveness as chemical-based formulas, they are still a simple and cheap alternative that can make your home smell great. To prolong the life of reed diffusers, it's recommended to flip the reeds over about once a week to facilitate evaporation and prevent clogging. Once all the diffuser liquid has been used, you can either refill it with the same fragrance in new reeds, or cleanse the container and add new fragrance in reeds. The same reed should not be used with two different fragrances, as there's no way to fully rid the reed of the fragrance it was used with before. This could lead to unpleasant combinations in scent and ingredients. We've now covered 4 of the most common air freshener types on the market. With that out of the way, we can finally dive into the production process of each of these air fresheners. Stay tuned to Fragrance U for step-by-step instructions on making gel beads, solid gels, sprays, and reed diffusing air fresheners. I'm Caitlin, and I'll see you there. Bye!